Welcome to this session. In this session, I am going to discuss the essay of studies by Francis Bacon. It is prescribed for the BA first sem students by Karnataka University, Dharwad. Of studies is the title of the essay. It is written by Francis Bacon. Learning objectives. The main objective of this particular essay is that by this essay, the students learn about the skills of writing essay. They learn the human values through stories and they know the effective way of a communication, and it helps them to know the feelings of a humans. The learning outcome at the end of the session, the students understand the importance of our studies in day-to-day life. In the beginning, I would like to explain the meaning of the essay. An essay is a short formal piece of a writing dealing with a single subject. Here it is going to deal with a single subject. Here the writer is going to talk about one particular subject. Introduction of the essay. Of Studies is taken from the collection of essays published in 1597. Later it was revised in 1612. It is a didactic essay, means it is having the moral concern. The style of the essay is parallelism. Here the writer has used the comparison and a contrast method in order to explain the essay in a proper way. Introduction to the author. It is written by Francis Bacon. As we know, he is a very popular essayist. He was born on January 22nd, 1561 in London. He practiced law in a Trinity College. He became a member of the House of Commons. Bacon published a collection of essays in 1597. He died in 1626. Bacon is known as the father of English essay. He is also known as the father of science. The main theme of the essay is that, as we all know, the title itself is going to explain it. In this essay, the Bacon discusses about the studies, its importance and uses in human life. At the same time, he also explains the negative effects of the studies. In this essay, we come across so many archaic words and two Latin phrases. They are, the one is maketh, which means makes in modern English. Doth, that is does, nay means no. And the two Latin phrases, cumini sectors, it means splitters of air. It is usually referred to the critics who are going to give the very minute details. And second one is, that is ambient studia in mores. Studies influence manners. It means that definitely studies is going to give a extra development to our personality, our skills, our manners. Even our character is definitely influenced by the studies. That is the meaning of this particular phrase. Explanation of the essay. In the very beginning of the essay, here the writer Francis Bacon, he gives the three purposes of a studies, or the three benefits of the studies. They are, in the first one is that he says it serves for delight. Studies can be used for ornament and it can be used for the ability. He just go on elaborating these things. Delight means when you are reading in a privateness. When you are reading alone, relaxing, definitely it is going to give a happiness to you. That is the main purposes of a studies. So studies gives a delight. And at the same time, here it says that studies can be used for the ornament. If you are a well-read person, when you are engaged in a discourses, debates, arguments, speeches, it will help you to betterment your arguments, betterment your knowledge. So it can be used as an ornament. And third one is ability. So it will prove your judgment. If you are having the, if you are a well-read person, if you are having the good knowledge, it is going to reflect in your judgment. At the same time, here it talks about the other dark side of the studies. Here he says that spending too much studies is sloth. Sloth means laziness. So studies is definitely good for your character and development, but it doesn't mean that you should not spend a lot of time on studies. That is going to make yourself lazy. And the more use for ornamentation is an affectation. For the use for it is, if you are going to use it for the ornament, that is going to be a affectation, means artificial. It is going to be proved as an artificial one. And if you are taking the judgment wholly based on the studies, that is going to create a humor, because studies, on the base of the studies, you can't make the judgment. Judgment is also require some of the experiences as well as some of the adjustment and the practical knowledge. So these are the main purposes which he has explained in the beginning of the essay. Here he says that study is perfect by experience. So you can't prove yourself perfect just based on the studies. So studies do require a experience of a life. For this he gives a very beautiful example of a natural plants. Our natural abilities are like a natural plants that need pruning. Pruning means that is trimming or a cutting. If the plants are, they are growing naturally, they are going to be a very wide and they will spread their roots, and its roots everywhere. It is going to spread, it is going to take us so much space. At the same time, if you are going to cut it in a proper way, it will look very beautiful. In that manner, studies can be used properly with the experience. So here he is explaining in this way. So experience of the life, that is also possible here. Here he says that crafty men condemn studies, simple men admire them, wise men use them. So Bacon says that here a crafty man, those who are very sure, those who think themselves as a very intelligent one, they are not going to bother about the studies. They think that they can manage everything by themselves. They just don't go for the studies. At the same time, here the simple men, they admire it. They know the importance of the studies. But it is a wise man who use these studies in a proper way. Here he talks about that how to read. Here he says that reading should not contradict and confute. So whatever you are going to read, it should not aim to gather information just to argue. And here he says that never read to believe, taking for granted that whatever is there, it is a right. So it is necessary for you to know that what's there. here he says that you have to weigh and consider. So whatever you are going to read, you should weigh it. You should have to confirm it before reading that whether it is a true or not. The best example is that is reading a newspaper. So whatever comes in the newspaper is not taken for a granted as a truthful one. So in this way, here it says that you should be very careful while reading and while agreeing with the words. He divides the books into three categories. Here he is talking about the different types of books. He says that some books are to be tasted, others to be swallowed, some few to be chewed and digested. So all the books are not equal here. Some books they are going to give you only the taste. For example, you may take the example of the magazines, jokes, and very small stories which are not having the any other purposes, which are not going to give you any knowledge, but they are going to give you the pleasure like a taste. Others to be swallowed, you just have to swallow it like a tablets. You are not supposed to go in deep about its a meaning, its a what it is going to give you the explanation and all that. You just have to swallow it. Here you need not to read the whole book, you just have to swallow it. So here he is telling that some few to be chewed and digested. So some books to be chewed and digested. Here you have to understand the whole meaning, whole purpose of the book. You have to go thoroughly in these books. And here he says that later he says reading maketh a full man, conference a ready man, writing an exact man. So here each and every this is a very popular quotation. Bacon is a string of a quotation. Whatever he writes, it is going to give the so many meaning. It is having the very depth meaning in each and every sentences. And here he says that reading maketh a full man. If you are a well-read person, definitely you are full with the knowledge and the wisdom. But at the same time, he is not telling that reading alone is going to make you a perfect one. He says that conference make a ready man. If you are attending a conference, you are going to be a ready man. So here the ready means that constantly he can converse with anyone. Here this person, he can talk to others about anything under the sun. He is always a ready one because all the time he is involved himself in the conference, in the conversation with the other person. But the main thing is that here the important one is, if you really wanted to be the exact and the perfect man, writing is very important. Writing an exact man. If you want to remember the things properly, it is necessary for you to write it down. So writing an exact man. In this way, he explains that how we can master the things. Later, he explains the uses of studies. He gives an example of a different subjects and its uses. Here he says that the study of a history increases your wisdom. So that is very important. That is going to give you the wisdom. It gives you a story and the experience of the people. We gain wisdom from their experiences. Definitely we will learn something from the history, and at the same time poetry enhances your witty. Witty means here you are not supposed to take it as a humor, but as imagination. Here it is going to give you in a good way, in a positive way, Witty means the poetry is going to enhance your imagination, enhance your intelligence. Here he says that mathematics makes a person subtle, means serious. Here, if you take the example of a mathematics, if you are solving a one problem, you are not supposed to go here and there. You have to concentrate on it. You are not supposed to lose your concentration. You have to go in deep. You have to be a serious. Then only it is possible for you to learn something. So he says that it is going to make you a subtle. Philosophy deepens thinking. The studying of the subject philosophy makes you to go deeper and deeper. At the same time, the logic and the rhetoric help to content. So, here the study of the logic and the rhetoric, these the two subjects which are not going to accept as it is going to make you a art of a argument. You will learn the art of a argument. Along with that, even the moral is going to make you a grave, that is going to make you think which is a right, which is a wrong. In this way, he explains that how the different subject studies help you to develop your personality. And later, he explains that how the exercises for the body can cure the diseases. He says that bowling is good for a stone and rains, means bowling. If you are playing a bowling, it doesn't mean that it's a cricket. It's just playing with a ball. So your bowling is good for your stone. Stone means that it is going to cure your kidney stones. And shooting is for the lungs and the breast. While shooting, your lungs are going to be very fit and fine. Gentle walk for the stomach. For the stomach, if you want to keep your stomach in a proper way, in a very fit manner, the gentle walk is required. Riding is good for a head. Your riding, you have to take it as a riding of a horse, not a riding a bike, because that time there is no bikes, is it? So riding is good for a head. While riding a horse, you will pop up and it will go ups and down. In that way, your blood circulation is going to increase and decrease. That is going to balance the circulation, that is going to help your head. In the same manner, here he says that studies fit the mind. The studies is going to help you to develop your mind and keep your mind in a proper way. Here he gives some other examples that if wit is wandering, here you have to take wit means here your mind. If your mind is wandering here and there, here he says that let him study mathematics, because while solving a problem, you require to be concentrated on a particular sum only, particular problem only. Then only you will be able to get the answer. It is going to increase your concentration. If mind is not fit the differences, if the mind is not find the differences, let him study the schoolman. Schoolman means the very learned men, because they are a very good critics. They are going to analyze in a very proper way. They will help you to understand the things properly. If a wit is not to prove and illustrate others, let them study lawyers. If you are not able to prove, if you are not able to illustrate the others, it's better for you to study the lawyers. You know the lawyers, because they have to learn a lot, they have to refer the previous proceedings, previous decisions, so that they can come to a proper conclusion. They can prove themselves. So at the end of the essay, as he started it abruptly, he ends abruptly. Here he says that every defect of the mind may have a special receipt. Receipt means here you take it as a prescription. Here you take it as a remedy. So what there may be many defects in your mind, but whichever the defect it may be, it can be cured. It is having its own remedies. So important quotations of the essay. They are very popular quotations. Some of the people, they don't know that actually who has written these quotations, but they go on referring these quotations. Some books are to be tasted, others to be swallowed, and a few to be chewed and digested. The another very important quotation, that is, reading maketh a full man, conference a ready man, and a writing a particular or the exact man. Conclusion. Here he has analyzed the importance of studies. Therefore, in this essay, he convinces his readers to know its vitality. It doesn't only talk about a bookish knowledge but also demonstrate the importance of experiences. So, reference is that here we have referred the prescribed book of the Francis prescribed essay of studies. Now come to the MCQs. The questions. Who is the author of studies? They have given the four choices: Charles Lamb, Francis Bacon, Joseph Addison, Johnson. The writer, yes, that is Francis Bacon. What is the chief use of a study? The why we are going to use for the study: ability, ornament, delight, mastery. That is ability. To spend too much time in studies is intelligence, wisdom, sloth, affection. Here it is a sloth, that is laziness. Who condemns studies? Crafty man, simple man, wise man, ready man. Of course, it's a crafty man. Which study makes men wise? The study of a history, philosophy, mathematics, logic. Answer is history. What makes a full man? Speaking, listening, reading, writing. It's a reading makes a full man. The study of a logic and a rhetoric develop muscles, intelligence, content, knowledge. It develops content. What makes an exact man? Speaking, listening, reading, writing. It's a writing. Which is best for stomach? Gentle walk, sleeping, reading, shooting. It's a gentle walk. Shooting is good for mind, eyes, lungs, stomach. It's a good for lungs. So, here we have come to know the essay of studies and its important MQ, the multiple choice questions. So, here I am ending the session.